Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Teofimo Lopez is out here playing Al Capone. He's out here pretending to be a gangster. Or is he the real deal? Because, you know, if you watch this channel, I'm always saying, if you're going to be Al Capone, you need to go all the way. And Teofimo Lopez, I don't know what got into him. The last year and a half, this man has gone straight Al Capone. And he seems to be willing to go all the way. So much so that I think we need to really sit here and have a short conversation. And I'm going to try to be as succinct as possible as to what and who Teofimo Lopez should do next and fight next. Now, unless you've been living underneath a rock, you know, Teofimo Lopez is still the WBO champion for 140 pounds. Teofimo Lopez, if he chooses to activate his mandatory challenger status, he can go straight at Terence Crawford at 147. He said that's what he wants to do. So once that decision is made by the WBO, then Terence Crawford has to make a decision. Okay? So for those of you who are out there saying Terence Crawford, he can't be forced to fight Teofimo. Yes, he can be forced to make a decision whether he fights him or he doesn't. Now, what are some other options for Teo? Well, I mean, the sky's the limit for him. At the end of the day, you know, Teofimo Lopez, some people see him as the first two-time undisputed. Then others, I'm not talking about Clarissa Shields, I'm just talking about they're saying he did it before Crawford. He's going to do it. He would have done it before Inoue, who's going to probably pick it up in another couple of weeks, two-time undisputed. But he is a two-time millennial, and that carries a lot of weight. He basically beat the man, right, when he beat Lomachenko, and then he beat the man at 140, Josh Taylor. Now, these were guys who I would say were still in their prime. They weren't at the beginning of their prime. They were more towards the end of their prime, but we can still say they were in their prime. Some people don't really want to give Teo the credit for that Josh Taylor win, and I understand Josh Taylor was really trying to fight at 147, came back to 140 for the opportunity, for the payday, but really Josh Taylor probably shouldn't have been there. But at the end of the day, Josh Taylor wasn't 40 years old. But Teofimo Lopez has options. You got Ryan Garcia, you got Devin Haney, but he really seems to be all about the biggest challenges and believing in his skills. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to Teofimo Lopez, you know, I followed him like a lot of you, and I did see talent there. I did, but when I really bought into Teofimo Lopez and his success was when I saw him fight Richard Comey, and then I saw him go and fight. There was a guy before Richard Comey that he knocked out with this. The way he threw it, I think it was the right hand. I don't think it was a left hook. I can't remember what shot it was, but he did it and he started doing the Fortnite dancing. Then I think he fought Richard Comey, knocked him out. Same spectacular kind of fashion. Then went up and he fought Lomachenko. But I remember across the Comey fight and the Lomachenko fight, I was like, all right, I'm convinced the dude could fight. Then he fell off, right? But I said the reason why this man did so well is because he had Joey Gamache in his corner. Then Joey Gamache issue with Top Rank not winning the purse bid. Joey Gamache, no money there to pay Joey Gamache. The father didn't want to pay him. Joey Gamache disappears from the scene. Teofimo bubbles up to 140, struggles in the first couple of fights. Then somehow became reacquainted with Gordo. So now he's back to being Gordo, the boxer, the guy that impressed everyone in the amateurs. Gets the big win against Josh Taylor. And ever since then, he's been out here being, I guess, you know, Gordo. And out here, man, you know, just feeling himself. But I'm going to tell you this. If he fights Terence Crawford, you know, I'm not so sure how I feel about that. Because when I look at it, right, like for Terence Crawford, him fighting Teo is interesting. And it may be big money. I just don't think he beats Terrence Crawford. There are many people who feel Teofimo Lopez, with his athleticism and boxing ability, will beat Terrence Crawford. I just don't see it. Okay, but that's an interesting fight that would get the attention of a lot of people. I just think Terrence Crawford, he can't win. So it doesn't matter what he does, he just can't win. But the fight I would like to see is Terrence Crawford in boots more than Teofimo. But you know how this boxing politics works in a secret society. Teofimo, there's a good chance he can get that fight. Now, outside of Terrence Crawford, Teofimo Lopez, man, he can fight anybody. You got the winner of Regis and Haney. You got Subriel Matias. I think that would be a great fight because, Teo's repping Honduras. He's repping New York, but then a series from Florida. So I don't know where this man, he got a passport to everywhere. It makes him a resident of nowhere. You're a citizen of nowhere, a resident of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is, you get basically, Honduras against Puerto Rico. That's how they're going to spin it. You know what I'm saying? But what's stopping him from calling out Subriel? Get in there with the Puerto Rican, the Puerto Riqueño. Get in there and scrap with him. You know what I'm saying? Figure out who's the Saison con Achiote and who's a Saison sin Achiote. One of them got the Achiote and one of them don't. So get in there and figure it out. But for old Al Capone, Teofimo Capone, I think the sky's the limit for him. I just think he should leave Terrence Crawford alone. There's so much work he can do at 140. At 135, he was killing himself. We get it. 140 is an easier weight to make. 147 is probably where he's comfortable. But just like we've talked about in other videos, look at Floyd Mayweather. 130, 135, 140, 147, right? 130, 135, 140. Floyd Mayweather's breezing through these guys, tranquilizing them. 147 is kind of where he peaked. He can still knock people out, but remember, he's a much smaller guy coming up to those heavyweight classes. It was skills that paid the bills, and he had a punch. But he wasn't just getting to tranquilizing people like he did at 130. A lot of people forget that. Floyd is really a small guy. Manny Pacquiao is a small guy. But, talking about fighters right now that a lot of you guys are probably more familiar with their fights, Adrian Broner. Out here doing the business. 130, 135, 140, 147. That's as far as he could go. Just couldn't come out there and do the opponents at 147 when he was able to do it to the smaller guys. Amazing fighter, still has power, had some power at 147, but just wasn't the kind of power to tranquilize opponents. And when I look at Teofimo Lopez trying to, ride the lightning from 135 to 140 and to some go to 147, I'm just not so sure he's got the kind of power and he's got the kind of style to go to 147 and make any kind of noise. I'm just being honest with you. I don't think so. So I think it's best that he chills at 140. There's a lot of fights, but he's going to do what he wants. Bottom line is he wants to get paid. And I'm going to tell you, I think he should get paid good money. I don't think he should get mad at any fighter, whether it's on Top Rank, PBC, Matchroom. Don't get mad at them because of the money they're making. It's not their fault, right? I think Teofimo is making a good stance by basically, it's like he's boycotting Top Rank in a sense, like saying, unless y'all pay me, I'm not fighting. And I think he does deserve some money, especially if what he's saying is true about him bringing Bud Light to ESPN. Excuse me, ESPN and Top Rank, and the multiples of millions they've been making off of Bud Light since. If that's the case, he's just not a shrewd businessman. He should have got 10, 20% of that deal. He should have gotten something. But at the end of the day, put it into his fight purse. And I would be pissed off too. You know what I mean? It's like, I got a buddy out here. He's always like, man, you need to get into this real estate. Start selling real estate, right? He like, you're retired, something to, fill up your day. I'm like, I'm good, man, I'm good. But that would be like me bringing, a person to him, say, I got this friend here. they want to buy the house from me, but I don't have my real estate license yet. Yeah, you go ahead and take care of them, but give me a little something on the back end. And then he give me $100 when this man just made $15,000 commission, a $15,000 commission. It's like, yo, without me, you would have never made that money. So really, you should give me like 10 and you take 5. But how about we split it, $7,500 a piece? I don't got no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? But to come and just hit me $100 and say, yo, go get your little, go in there and get your little nacho fries, or take the wife to Cheesecake Factory. It's like, my man, I want to take her there. I want to go to Honolulu, man. Give me that $7,500 and quit bullshitting. So I don't blame Tio. But for his next move, man, I think he's gonna be interesting. But he gotta do something sooner than later, because this exhibition shit he doing in Honduras, I don't like it. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because Honduras is dangerous. Okay? I don't like it. Going out there, Honduras, Salvador, any of that shit. I don't like it. I don't like him going out there. But that's his business. But for me, I wouldn't go out there and be getting involved in any kind of exhibition, nothing locally out there. That's just one place I wouldn't go. I know he feels he's loved in Honduras. I understand that. You know, I get it. But it's like me. My pops from Trinidad and Tobago. You know what I'm saying? I lived there as a little kid, man. I mean, that's, it's always referred to as home. You know what I mean? I'm born here in the States, but as a little bitty kid, man, went to Trinidad to live with, family and everything. And it does a lot for you when you grow up out there, especially as a young guy, and identity and culture, and no matter what, like Caribbean people, you can be born in one of the islands, right? Have kids in the States, and they'll still raise the kids to refer to the island where the parents are from as home. But I just, for me, but I don't know, I spend so much time out there, so I don't, it's not, I could probably go out there and put on some kind of event and be just fine, because a lot of people know me out there. But it's like my sons, they've been there once, but it's like them going out there now and thinking that it's going to be accepted and people are going to see them as little Trinidadians and shit like that. I mean, no, it just doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? They'll tell them, hey, you qualify because of your dad and your grandparents, but you are a Yankee. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just not sure just how in tune Tio is with Honduras, the Hondurans. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little concerned about that move out there, and especially if there's a lot of money involved. I don't know. I don't know. But they know what they're doing. That being said, who should Teofimo Capone fight next? If you ask me, I think he should float around there at 140. If he wants to dare to be great, if you're going to be Al Capone, go all the way. Go on up there and put that pressure on Crawford and force him to make a decision. Because Crawford's trying to get busy with Spence, and after that, I truly believe Crawford has 2 or 3 fights lined up. And who knows, maybe Crawford fight after Spence, maybe it could be Canelo and Teofimo. We don't know. But word is that the shit about Crawford and Canelo is gaining some serious momentum. I'm not just saying that. I'm telling you this. I got my little sources too. And you're watching Terrence Crawford that bouncing his step. I would not be surprised if he ends up getting through Spence, and then now, you got this whole thing about Jaime Munguia and Canelo, then Crawford, Canelo, and David Benavidez maybe later in the year. But you just don't know what's going to happen. But nonetheless, Teofimo Lopez, he may be in a good space too. He may have some things going on that we don't know about as well. That's why he's moving the way he's moving. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm in the breeze.